Happy beautiful Monday, beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Also, happy Martin Luther King Day. Hopefully, we'll have a few minutes to chat about him at the end of the video, but if not, we can talk about him another day, because what day is not a great day to talk about anything pertaining to Black people. So let's get right into it. I said in my last video that I would share with you all my 2019 goals, and I want to do that, but I also want to encourage and show, for those who may have never seen this, teach, however you want to flip it, SMART goals. So SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable / achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. And essentially what this acronym does is you run your goals through these filters to make sure that this goal that you're setting out, that you've thought through any obstacles that could come up, that you're specific about what you're trying to do, that you put yourself in a time box, and that it is relevant to what's going on in your life right now and achievable. And so I want to share 2 to 3 of my goals for this year with you all while going through those steps, kind of fleshing it out in front of you, and then see you in the next video, of course. So in my umbrella, so overarching all my goals for the year, even the small ones, is the mentality: do not overcommit and underdeliver, and to practice having better discipline. My pastor once said that usually if you see a person lacking discipline in one area, chances are that they lack discipline in a lot of areas. And I never forgot that, because it's so true. Like, I have really great discipline in certain things, but the fact that I lack discipline in, maybe my eating habits, and my spending, and my consistency in relationships, like whatever it is, you do start to see like these cracks and crannies, I guess, of lack of discipline in other areas. And so I want to practice being sharp and disciplined about a lot of things. And that's hard, right? We want to be disciplined in our emotions. We want to be disciplined in our relationships, in our spiritual life, in our emotional health, our physical health. Like, it's a lot of things to keep up with. But I believe that if you begin to practice the behavior of being disciplined, it starts to pour over into other areas, and you begin to better assess where your time goes and your commitments and things like that. And so hopefully we can kind of talk about that more in another video. So the first goal, I'm going to jump right into it, is to actually do the Dave Ramsey. He has Baby Steps to Financial Peace. I have been reading this book for years, and by that I mean that it's a book that I pick up pretty often in my home. I reread it when I need ideas, or maybe just like a greater sense of accountability. I had the page set aside, but in typical fashion, I just closed the book before I started recording. I want to read to you all what the baby steps are, and so I would like to get through all of his baby steps, right? And so this is the one goal that I won't really walk through the SMART steps with, because I want to explain it to you. So first and foremost, Dave Ramsey believes in a ton of things. I can't be his spokesperson. I'm not being paid to do that. But from what I've gathered from reading his book, is that he believes you don't need credit. You should live the life where you could pay everything outright in cash, to the point that regardless of your credit score, you can get the things you want because you've put the money aside. You didn't borrow the money. You're not depending on a credit card. You are paying for things outright, which I really like, because essentially you're living within your means. However, I do know that most things nowadays do depend on your credit, and we have just become so used to being able to just get this great credit score, then we get a loan, then we get a house, then we get a car, then we get, all these different things, that it almost seems like out of the ordinary to be someone without any credit cards and not really striving to have a perfect credit score. However, I do think that it is achievable. And so his baby step 1 is put $1,000 in a beginner emergency account. $500 if your income is under $20,000 per year. Baby step 2 is pay off all debt using the debt snowball. Baby step 3 is put 3 to 6 months of expenses into saving as a full emergency fund. Baby step 4 is invest 15% of your household income into both IRAs and pre-tax retirement plan. Baby step 5 is to begin a college fund for your kids. Baby step 6 is pay off your home early, and baby step 7 is build wealth and give. So when I was in college, I started, and I think I stopped at baby step 2. I was working part-time. I had an amazing living situation, and his book and what he's encouraging was really hard to follow past that point because my household income wasn't what it is now. And I just was still like, school was the priority, and my money was just like, sometimes I would be bringing in a lot, and sometimes I would be bringing in just enough. And so it was just kind of hard to practice this, even though it is possible wherever you are financially. Like, he has it broken down to if you're getting paid commission, if your pay is spotty. Like, he has really done a good job of being able to hit all the marks depending on your income. So my first goal right now, as I like break down all these steps, is to do the $1,000, right? So now applying it to the SMART goal is it specific? Yes. I would like to get $1,000, and he encourages that you do this aggressively. So this means selling things. This means eating rice and beans for 2 months or 1 month, however long it takes for you to get this emergency fund in. This is your $1,000 that you will set aside for emergencies. And then he also talks about what an emergency is. So it can be something wrong with your car. It can be whatever is an emergency, not shopping, not vacationing, not those leisure things. But essentially having $1,000 set aside for an emergency is the first step. So I would like to do that. So specific, yes. Measurable. How am I going to measure this goal? I will be able to measure it based on my actual savings. I also can measure it by saying every paycheck I'm going to put X amount into the savings. And then that also tells me, is this achievable? Yes, it is achievable. It is attainable. Is it relevant? Absolutely, because I'm currently trying to get out of debt. And then time bound. How long will I give myself to reach $1,000? I have not sat down and did the figures for that yet. I will update you all on that in the next video, but I did write out the goal for this video to kind of flesh out what I wanted to talk about, and I would say to myself, if I'm really trying to meet this goal, I could plan time bound based on paychecks, or I could even be aggressive to be like, okay, for the next 2 months, I'm going to put this much from my check. I'm also going to pick up this side hustle. I'm also going to work this many extra jobs at my part-time. I'm also going to do, whatever it is. That can also be aggressive steps towards meeting the 2-month goal. So for myself, now that I'm saying it out loud, I actually might just give myself 2 months to meet this goal, which essentially would mean putting at least $500 away per month. Do you want to beat the time? Absolutely. But do you want to have realistic time parameters? Absolutely. Because if you say, I have 1 week, sure, you can figure out a way to get $1,000 in a week. But does it put you in a good position? And is it achievable in a way that you won't be discouraged if you don't meet the goal? Okay, so goal number 1 for me is to accomplish baby step number 1 with this Dave Ramsey complete guide to money, aka one of the books that comes with his Financial Peace University. Okay, so that's my first goal. And then I also put down here, what's my why? Just so I can remind myself. And my why is financial freedom. And then I'll maybe show you all a picture of this. Just little notes to what is financial freedom. Financial freedom might be me being able to get that house before or when I'm married. It could include me being able to travel without hesitation on weekends. It could mean blessing people. It could mean, whatever, sleeping better. Whatever it is, you want to know your why so you can keep that at the forefront of your brain. Okay? So, next goal. My second goal is to lose 10 pounds in the next month. So if I'm going to be honest with you, when you do Weight Watchers, you can lose more than 10 pounds in a month. Like, it is very possible for you to lose way more than that. However, during my research, I found that you are supposed to lose no more than 2.5 pounds a week for your heart. With Weight Watchers, you really can't control how much you lose. Like, they may say, hey, slow down, you're losing a lot of weight, or are you eating all your points every week? What are you eating? Things like that. But again, with SMART goals, I want to be realistic. I want to know, is it achievable? Can I meet this goal within a time frame? Things like that. So the specific goal is 10 pounds in a month. So February 21st would make 1 month from today's video. However, my weigh-ins are on Saturdays. So I would officially check 1 month and 2 days from today to see if I've met the goal of losing 10 pounds. There is a meeting tonight at 6 p.m. I'm going to go weigh in. An update is that since the last video 3 months ago, I lost 10 pounds and I really wasn't doing a ton of things to lose that. But I did want to let you all know that I'm 10 pounds down from my starting weight per like my first announcement back. I haven't announced my weight yet, so I will eventually. The goal also in previous videos was that I would announce it after I lose 20 pounds. So again, this channel is not about how much the scale says. So I don't like to drive that point home. I don't want people to be like, oh, she's this much, or like, I don't want to focus on numbers. I don't want you all to focus on numbers, but I also don't want to make the number game something we're ashamed of. It's just the numbers on a scale. It does not define who you are. It does not tell people how amazingly awesome you are and the credentials that you have and the hard work that you've put into your life. And it is nothing but tell you how much your body weight weighs, right? And that's kind of redundant that I said it that way. So specific, lose 10 pounds in a month. Measurable, I will weigh in every Saturday. The goal would be to lose 2.5 pounds a week at minimum. Is it attainable? Yes. Is it relevant? Absolutely, because my health is at the forefront of my brain. Is it time bound? Yes, because I'm giving myself 1 month and 2 days to reach this goal. So this fulfills the SMART goal checklist. Now, with specific, something that I encouraged my kids to do was to also be even more specific, like, well, what else are you going to do to get there? So I plan to exercise at least 30 minutes every day. I know that is overwhelming for someone who does not practice exercising, but not even practice, for someone who does not exercise. But I want to move my body for 30 minutes every day, even if it means walking around my neighborhood, because, and we will talk about this in the next video, I promise. I find myself as I get older just more conscious about simple things that are really big things, right? And I don't want to take for granted being able to walk around and how that encourages my mental health and what that does to my entire body, and how it is a form of worship to God and thanking Him for this temple, and just what I can do in that 30 minutes of just getting outside, getting some fresh air, or going to the gym and just moving my limbs for 30 minutes a day. That is what I'm tasking myself with. In addition, with this goal of trying to meet the $1,000 in the next 2 months, I am going to not eat out. So that looks like meal planning and cooking every day. That is hard for me. I don't eat out a lot, but I like to sometimes be like, oh, I'm just going to grab something, right? I'm going to have a few exceptions around it, which I will talk to you all about in the videos. Like, I may go get a salad from time to time from places, because when I make salads at home, sometimes they spoil pretty fast, but we'll see. We're not going to talk about that right now. So I just lost my train of thought. So yes, no fast food. And I don't even want to say no fast food. I'm going to say meal prep. So I know what I'm having. I've cooked meals, I've packed snacks, so that I'm not spending like loose ends on things that I could have just prepared for. And we will talk about that, I promise, in detail in one of the next videos this week, because there's always more to talk about, right? And then lastly, I want to be consistent with doing the small things that I've set out to do in excellency. I have not created a SMART goal for this, because this pours and segues into me writing my first book, and me being consistent with YouTube, and me posting on my blog. This is me just challenging myself to sharpen my gift as a teacher. So that might mean reading more books in my content. It may include like honing in on relationships. This is not really a solid goal as much as this is something that I aspire to do, and I'm kind of breaking it down. And I will share that with you all as well as I explore it more. But those are my 2 very specific SMART goals. And notice that honestly, I said my 2019 goals, but those are really goals that will cover me right now from January to March. And so I'm even learning that it's also extremely helpful sometimes to break our goals down into smaller chunks, because that makes them attainable. And then think about the bigger picture, right? So 10 pounds is this small window of time. But if I keep doing 10-pound increments, where will I be in December? So $1,000 is, this small amount of money, and that's just right now until March. But where will I be in December with my finances? And so we can talk about this more. I'm so excited to bring you all on this journey. I hope that this video was helpful, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.